The National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates that metal enclosures must be grounded. This grounding is usually accomplished by employing a grounding bushing or a locknut designed to penetrate the enclosure surface, establishing a secure metal-to-metal connection. For a rigid conduit system, the external locknut is crucial for creating a robust mechanical bond between the conduit and the enclosure. The primary function of the sealing ring is to act as a barrier, preventing moisture and other contaminants from entering the enclosure, thereby protecting the electrical components housed within. The plastic bushing located inside the enclosure plays no role in the grounding pathway and does not impede the electrical connection. The internal locknut is responsible for ensuring a solid metal-to-metal connection between the conduit and the enclosure, completing the grounding circuit. Therefore, a rigid conduit system employing a locknut and sealing ring on the outside, along with a locknut and plastic bushing on the inside, meets the grounding requirements set forth by the NEC. Grounding is a critical safety measure in electrical systems, designed to protect individuals from electrical shock and prevent equipment damage. When a fault occurs in an electrical system, such as a wire coming into contact with a metal enclosure, the enclosure can become energized. Without proper grounding, anyone who touches the energized enclosure could receive a severe, potentially fatal, electric shock. A properly grounded system provides a low resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source, causing the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to trip and energize the circuit. This rapid disconnection of power significantly reduces the risk of electrical shock. In addition to protecting against electrical shock, grounding also helps to prevent equipment damage. When a fault occurs, a high fault current can generate excessive heat, which can damage or destroy electrical equipment. A properly grounded system limits the duration of the fault current, minimizing the potential for heat damage. The NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for grounding electrical systems to ensure safety and reliability. These guidelines cover various aspects of grounding, including the types of grounding electrodes, the size of grounding conductors, and the methods for connecting grounding conductors to equipment and enclosures. Section 250.4 of the NEC outlines the general requirements for grounding and bonding. It emphasizes the importance of creating a low impedance path for fault current to facilitate the operation of overcurrent devices. This section also specifies that grounding systems must be designed to minimize voltage differences between different parts of the electrical system, reducing the risk of stray voltages that could cause equipment malfunction or electric shock. Section 250.8 specifies the methods for making effective grounding and bonding connections. It requires that connections be made using listed connectors, pressure connectors, terminal bars, exothermic welding, or other approved means. The connections must be mechanically sound and provide a permanent, low-impedance path to ground. The use of listed grounding and bonding equipment ensures that the equipment has been tested and certified to meet applicable safety standards. Section 250.64 provides requirements for grounding electrode conductors. The grounding electrode conductor connects the grounding electrode to the electrical system's grounded conductor or equipment grounding bus. The size of the grounding electrode conductor is determined by the size of the service entrance conductors. The grounding electrode conductor must be securely connected to the grounding electrode using listed connectors or exothermic welding. Section 250.92 covers bonding of metal enclosures and raceways. It requires that metal enclosures and raceways be bonded together to form a continuous electrical path. This bonding ensures that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same electrical potential, reducing the risk of voltage differences that could cause electric shock. Bonding can be achieved using various methods, including bonding jumpers, bonding locknuts, and bonding bushings. Section 300.10 addresses electrical continuity of metal raceways and enclosures. It requires that metal raceways and enclosures be mechanically joined together to form a continuous electrical path. This continuity is essential for providing a low impedance path for fault current. The raceways and enclosures must be designed and installed to withstand the stresses likely to be imposed on them during normal use. Section 314.4 provides specific requirements for grounding and bonding metal boxes and conduit bodies. It requires that metal boxes and conduit bodies be grounded and bonded in accordance with Article 250. This section also provides specific rules for grounding and bonding boxes and conduit bodies in different types of installations. Section 344 addresses rigid metal conduit, or RMC. It specifies the requirements for the installation and use of RMC. RMC is a heavy-duty metal conduit that provides excellent protection for electrical conductors. It is commonly used in industrial and commercial applications where mechanical protection is required. RMC can be used as an equipment grounding conductor if it is installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. To ensure proper grounding of a rigid conduit system, several key components must be correctly installed. Firstly, the locknuts used to secure the conduit to the enclosure must be tightened properly. The locknut should be tightened sufficiently to ensure solid mechanical connection between the conduit and the enclosure. This connection provides the necessary electrical continuity for grounding. Secondly, the sealing ring should be installed correctly. The sealing ring is typically made of rubber or plastic and is designed to prevent moisture and other contaminants from entering the enclosure. The sealing ring should be installed between the locknut and the enclosure surface to provide a watertight seal. Thirdly, the plastic bushing should be installed on the inside of the enclosure. The plastic bushing protects the conductors from abrasion as they enter the enclosure. The bushing should be securely fastened to the conduit to prevent it from dislodging. Finally, the grounding conductor must be properly connected to the enclosure and the grounding electrode system. The grounding conductor should be sized according to the NEC requirements and should be connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or metal water pipe. The grounding connection must be made using listed connectors or exothermic welding to ensure a permanent and reliable connection. In some cases, additional grounding measures may be required to ensure adequate grounding. For example, in areas with high soil resistivity, it may be necessary to install multiple grounding electrodes to reduce the grounding resistance. In sensitive electronic equipment installations, it may be necessary to use isolated grounding techniques to minimize noise and interference. Isolated grounding involves isolating the equipment grounding conductor from the building's main grounding system. The isolated grounding conductor is then connected directly to a dedicated grounding electrode. The NEC provides specific requirements for isolated grounding in Section 250.146. When installing a rigid conduit system, it is important to follow all applicable NEC requirements to ensure safety and reliability. The installation should be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to verify that it meets the code requirements. The inspector will check the grounding connections, the tightness of the locknuts, and the condition of the sealing rings and bushings. The inspector may also perform ground resistance measurements to verify that the grounding system is effective. Regular maintenance and inspection of the grounding system are essential to ensure its continued effectiveness. The grounding connection should be checked periodically for corrosion or looseness. The grounding electrodes should be inspected for damage or deterioration. Any damaged or corroded component should be replaced immediately. Grounding is a fundamental aspect of electrical safety. By following the NEC requirements and implementing proper grounding techniques, you can protect yourself and others from electrical shock and prevent equipment damage. Always consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about grounding electrical systems. Furthermore, understanding the role and application of specific components like locknuts, sealing rings, and bushings is crucial for ensuring a correctly grounded and safe electrical system. Locknuts are essential for providing a secure mechanical and electrical connection between the conduit and the enclosure. They are typically made of steel or iron and have teeth or serrations on one side that bite into the metal surface of the enclosure. This biting action ensures a good electrical connection, allowing fault current to flow back to the source in the event of a fault. When installing locknuts, it is important to tighten them properly. Over-tightening can damage the enclosure or the conduit, while under-tightening can result in a loose connection that may not provide adequate grounding. The NEC requires that locknuts be tightened to the manufacturer's specifications. Sealing rings are used to prevent moisture and other contaminants from entering the enclosure. They are typically made of rubber or plastic and are installed between the locknut and the enclosure surface. The sealing ring provides a watertight seal that protects the electrical components inside the enclosure from corrosion and other damage. When installing sealing rings, it is important to ensure that they are properly seated and that the locknut is tightened sufficiently to compress the sealing ring and create a watertight seal. Bushings are used to protect conductors from abrasion as they enter or exit an enclosure or conduit. They are typically made of plastic or rubber and have a smooth, rounded surface that prevents the conductors from being damaged by sharp edges. Bushings are available in a variety of sizes and shapes to accommodate different types of conductors and enclosures. When installing bushings, it is important to select the correct size and type of bushing for the application. The bushings should be securely fastened to the enclosure or conduit to prevent it from dislodging. In addition to locknuts, sealing rings, and bushings, there are other types of grounding and bonding equipment that may be used in a rigid conduit system. These include grounding bushings, bonding jumpers, and grounding electrode conductors. Grounding bushings are used to provide a direct connection between the conduit and the grounding conductor. They are typically made of bronze or aluminum and have a set screw that is used to secure the grounding conductor to the bushing. Grounding bushings are commonly used in situations where it is difficult to make a direct connection to the enclosure. Bonding jumpers are used to connect metal enclosures and raceways together to form a continuous electrical path. They are typically made of copper or aluminum and are sized according to the NEC requirements. Bonding jumpers are used to ensure that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same electrical potential, reducing the risk of voltage differences that could cause electric shock. Grounding electrode conductors are used to connect the grounding electrode to the electrical system's grounded conductor or equipment grounding bus. They are typically made of copper and are sized according to the NEC requirements. Grounding electrode conductors must be securely connected to the grounding electrode using listed connectors or exothermic welding. The selection and installation of grounding and bonding equipment should be performed by a qualified electrician who is familiar with the NEC requirements. The electrician should carefully inspect the installation to ensure that it meets the code requirements and that the grounding system is effective. Regular maintenance and inspection of the grounding system are essential to ensure its continued effectiveness. The grounding connection should be checked periodically for corrosion or looseness. The grounding electrodes should be inspected for damage or deterioration. Any damaged or corroded component should be replaced immediately. Furthermore, in specialized applications, such as those involving sensitive electronic equipment, additional grounding measures may be necessary to minimize noise and interference. These measures may include the use of isolated grounding techniques, shielded cables, and surge suppressors. Isolated grounding involves isolating the equipment grounding conductor from the building's main grounding system. The isolated grounding conductor is then connected directly to a dedicated grounding electrode. This technique can help to reduce noise and interference by preventing ground loops from forming. Shielded cables are used to protect conductors from electromagnetic interference or EMI. The shield is typically made of copper or aluminum and is grounded to provide a path for the EMI to flow back to the source. Surge suppressors are used to protect electrical equipment from voltage surges caused by lightning or other events. They work by diverting the surge current to ground, preventing it from damaging the equipment. It is important to note that the NEC is a complex and constantly evolving document. Electrical codes and standards are revised regularly to incorporate new technologies, address emerging safety concerns, and improve the overall safety and reliability of electrical systems. The National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, publishes the NEC every 3 years. It is essential for electricians, electrical contractors, and other professionals in the electrical industry to stay up to date on the latest NEC requirements. This can be achieved by attending training courses, reading industry publications, and participating in professional organizations. In addition to the NEC, there are other codes and standards that may apply to electrical installations. These include local building codes, state electrical codes, and industry standards. It is important to be familiar with all applicable codes and standards before beginning any electrical work. Compliance with electrical codes and standards is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. By following the code requirements and implementing proper grounding techniques, you can protect yourself and others from electrical shock and prevent equipment damage. Always consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about electrical safety. Ultimately, the proper grounding of a rigid conduit system or any electrical system is a critical safety measure that should not be overlooked. By understanding the principles of grounding and following the NEC requirements, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. The components involved, such as locknuts, sealing rings, and bushings, each play a vital role in establishing a reliable grounding path. Regular inspection and maintenance are essential to ensure the continued effectiveness of the grounding system. And remember, when in doubt, always consult with a qualified electrician.